My story that I'm going to be reading is P for Pteronophobia, and Pteronophobia is a fear of feathers. I was approached by Dean after we got to know each other through the British Fantasy Society, and he explained about the thing called the anthology, and I went away with it in mind and basically looked up what were some of the most bizarre phobias that I could find, and that's how I came up with Pteronophobia, which I'm now going to read the opening section of.
Can I ask you to speak a bit louder, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
A captured moment, one that does not last for long, disintegrating quickly, aging softly into tragedy and dust. A feather falls, its quill wet and shining, bloodily torn out, coming to rest in a lonesome place. The last bird dies. Years go by. Footsteps come, disturb the dust. Voices upset the silence. The blood on the feather is still wet, still shining. The dead and thoughtless space around it darkly stirs. Guinevere comes to violently, eyes open wide, wondering where she is, feeling bedsheets beneath her body. They are cold and old. The texture is heavy with the sour leavings of many bodies. Dead skin cells, crispy patches of dried, spilt fluids. Still in a world she does not know, she scrambles off the filthy linen. The floor is filthier, a stale carpet of dismal, dusty tangles. Vermin droppings and extinct arachnids crunch and crumble under her feet. The sensation of the small bodies prickling her bare soles makes her taste vile. She wishes for shoes. The shoes of a tramp would do. The room is clear to her now. The windows are papered over. Yellow copies of the Times and the Daily Mail keep out the light. What little light there is. Through torn patches in the makeshift curtains, feeble fingers of moonlight trace their way through the atmosphere, casting faint grey lines of illumination, dissecting the scene. Gwyn sees the bed is dark with stains that are not her own. She is unhurt. The stains on the bed have been there a long time. Sagging shelves surface out of the shadows, bent and buckling under the weight of thick, crusty books. The writing down the spines is alive before her eyes. It moves as snakes move. It flows with exotic Arabic rhythms, piercing her eyes with unseen needles, drawing out tears. The pain goes through her, into her brain. Aches reach her fingers and toes, making them curl into rigorous spasm. Her streaming eyes clear, just for a moment, and she sees them. In their hundreds, thousands, millions falling, slowly, silently, softly falling. White speckled feathers, their quills dripping bright red tears. The blood touches her, a feather touches her. Guinevere screams. Gwyn and Libby walk and laugh, going home. They do not see him, they walk into him. A box of shittily fried chicken and chips goes everywhere. Ketchup spatters their clothes, malt vinegar fouls the air. His name is Arcade. His eyes are white almonds, his diamante ear studs catch the moonlight, and his skin is marbled red by acne pits. They know him, he has a knife. Gwyn runs, one arm over Libby's shoulder. Libby is nursing her face, the cut made there by Arcade. It runs from the corner of her mouth to the lobe of her left ear. Her fingers sliver through the tacky film of blood drying on her skin. She can't believe he did it, marked her, cut her face open. She can taste the pain as cold static on her tongue. She gags as bitter fluid runs down her throat. She lets Gwyn guide her. She feels the cold static spread down her spine. Icicles grow in her veins and arteries. This is shock. She wants to stop, scream and drop, curl in, concave, against the horror that is happening. This is a good night out. Was, should have been. Now, it's a nightmare of bleeding. Her head swims with ghosts of darkness chasing light. Libby hopes she's asleep, hopes she will wake up from this. She hears a coarse cry and the bleak beating of a bird's wings. Arcade is the runt of the litter. That's what makes him mean. Got all the bad genes, the bad skin. There's nothing smooth or comely about him. He marked that cunt good. She asked for it, so he did it. Did it good. It would leave a scar. His stomach is sore from the other bitch, her sister, beating him. She decked him whilst he was laughing at the blood on the pavement, at Libby's whining. His skull bangs with pain, hurting deep as he runs. Each footstep strikes the pavement and drives rusted nails into his head. She hurt his teeth when she bit him. He bit off a piece of his tongue. He hawks, gobbing it into the night. He will mark her the same as the other, make those sisters match. The street is old and sits far back from the main road, a Victorian terrace where no light shines. The trees grow in a line on one side of the road. Their gnarled fingers reach the gutters of the houses, creating a claustrophobic canopy. It is late summer, not yet autumn. The leaves hang heavy on the trees. The stars of the night cannot penetrate through. No street light punctures the gloom with a bright sodium hole. Not one window glows. Gwyn and Libby run into the darkness. So does Arcade. The street breathes in, consuming them. Their footsteps disintegrate, becoming silence. On the rooftops there is a rustling and shuffling of downward bodies. Claws crack and scrape on tile. Pinhole eyes shimmer at the centre of small black moons. Beaks open, quietly cooing, calling out to something that cannot be seen. Gwyn is on the landing. Her breathing is convulsive as she scratches the feathers away. The door to the bedroom is closed now. Goose flesh makes her ache. She feels every trail of sweat following its course. Feathers, always feathers. Something about them, how soft they are, how they feel, how they were once part of something living. Those who wear or carry feathers are pallbearers for pieces of the dead. When feathers touch her skin, when she sees them, all she wants to do is scream. Libby is here. She stands at the far end of the landing, eyes open but not seeing. Gwyn calls out to her but makes no sound. Her throat is too raw. Libby descends the stairs to the floor below. Gwyn runs to her, reaching over the banister, tugging at her sister's clothes. Libby does not stop. There is a sound coming from below, a quiet cooing, the light call of a bird dying. Gwyn does not know what to do. Libby is sleepwalking. Waking a sleepwalker can be dangerous, fatal, but she wants to stop her from following the bird's call. There is something in the sound, something wrong with it. She reaches out to grab Libby's shoulders, stop her descent. Something soft brushes the back of her hand, unsettling the skin. A blood-tipped feather. Gwyn's gut clutches tight. She hurls herself away from it, from the disappearing Libby. The storm from the bedroom is here now, descending anew. Countless, soundless fragments of speckled white tumbling down, meaning to drown her. Gwyn, dryly heaving, scrambles away on hands and knees. There is a door adjacent to the stairs. She fumbles at the handle. Her fingers made clumsy by trembling. The handle turns. She claws her way inside. Breath whistling, skin scrawling with hot, streaking rash lines, she rubs at herself fitfully, huddles in with the dim quiet of the room, listens to the creak of stair after stair giving way under Libby's footsteps, going down and down. Then they stop. Libby is gone, lost to below. Gwyn chokes on a sob. She hears a sound in the room. Something is in here. She is not alone in the dark. A rumbling shakes the floor and walls. A gust of cruddy air clogs her nostrils. It comes rushing out of the far wall, shatters the plaster, breaks the wood, shreds ancient wallpaper into fluttering grey strips. In places, patchy white flesh shows through, some of it made red raw by scales and weakened saws. Butchered limbs, once wings, beat brokenly, battering, flapping, scrabbling, scratching, flailing wildly, further wounding themselves. Great bones splinter and much blood falls. Shrieks echo out from the glistening meat hook of its beak. No gentle cooing here. There are no feathers on the thrashing thing. It is bare meat and bone, inhabited by something monstrous and unknown, caught between places, only partially here, half-made, imprisoned in the brutish stuff of the wall. Its eyes are scalding spokes, blinding furies, pure burning promises of violence, promises it cannot keep. It cries out for pain, wanting blood. Gwyn sees tears run down the skinned bowl of its awful avian face. She winces at the sight. She opens the door and sees that the storm is no more. No feathers lie on the landing's dirty boards. Time to go. Find Libby. Get out of this place. Gwyn leaves the thing to its brick-and-mortar jail. She shuts the door. She hears a deep, rough grinding. The wall ingests the screaming vulture once more. She hears the sound of utter agony it makes as it is eaten, as bricks break more of its bones into dust. She pities it. This darkness, this place, is a something that is nothing. An opening, an emptiness, a way through. Calling it a door or a portal would be doing it a favour. It is a piss hole and wax no. The septic open wound with dirty scabbed over edges, where bad stuff clots, turns from yellow to black, goes soft and rotten. On the rooftops, the birds watch and wait, quietly cooing, listening to the screams below, feeling the pain within. There is not enough, never will be enough. The blood must flow forever.
Hey! Good stuff.
The other thing I suppose we should have said is, I'm sure you won't mind us saying, it's Greg's birthday today. Okay, cool. So thank you for that, Greg. So next up then is